you. Everybody hear me okay? And first, I'd like to thank Dr. Chen for a wonderful presentation. That was so good, I should probably just stop there. That was excellent. I think I understood every slide except for the Superman and the beautiful woman slide. If you could explain that to me later, please, that would be very, very helpful. Everything else I think I understood. I just want to give you a little more information on what we call computer vision syndrome in the United States and Japan, and a little more information on some specific studies on AstaReal astaxanthin for eye health. So first we can see that computer vision syndrome, as Dr. Chen pointed out, is growing rapidly. Why? That is a very easy answer. In the United States, people are spending more than half a day staring at a computer screen. Americans spend almost 11 hours looking at some kind of screen every day. I suspect it's the same in Taiwan. In the news in the United States, awareness of computer vision syndrome is growing. So here we have computer vision syndromes affects millions from the New York Times. Do you have digital eye strain or computer vision syndrome? This is from Shape, a women's magazine in the United States. A huge health issue affecting productivity that no one's talking about. Forget carpal tunnel syndrome. Computer vision syndrome is compromising productivity, not to mention your eyesight. So there is growing awareness in the United States and other countries of computer vision syndrome, or the 3C issue, as you call it here in Taiwan. But many consumers may not recognize computer vision syndrome. In the United States, no one says, oh, I have computer vision syndrome, but they do recognize the symptoms. Those could be eye strain, eye fatigue, blurry vision, double vision, dry eyes, burning sensation, neck and shoulder pain. So when we have a problem, now in 2017, who do we ask? If we have a problem, most of us go and ask our friend Google. Okay? They will go and Google their problem. And no one is Googling computer vision syndrome. But what they are Googling is these symptoms. So this is people Googling tired eyes. And you can see it was pretty stable until here. This would be 2008. And you see a double in the interest in tired eyes since 2008. Same thing with neck pain. It's pretty stable. Here we start to see a double in interest. So this 100, that's the time of the peak interest. Neck pain, shoulder pain, all of these things are starting to increase around 2008, 2007. I'll note that that's right about when the first iPhone came out, was 2007, late 2007. So these symptoms are definitely on the increase. Blurry vision, eyes hurt. This one is interesting. The feeling that something is in the eye. This has also doubled since 2012. This could be associated with the dry eye that is often comes with computer vision syndrome. So it is a big problem. You can see it affects high percentages of workers in Japan, Malaysia, Australia. Truly is a global problem. So now we want to look at astaxanthin. All of this Dr. Chen explained wonderfully. I think I'm just going to skip through to the studies. Although I did want to point this out. Astaxanthin seems to have a unique property that it can fit into and protect the cell membrane and also mitochondrial membranes from oxidative stress and oxidative damage. So we believe that that's a bit unique with astaxanthin and a property that lutein and zeaxanthin may not have. There have been a lot of studies, a lot of high-powered studies on supplementation to protect the eye. Most of these has focused on lutein and zeaxanthin. There was a study from Italy that included astaxanthin in the formula. But we agree, for long-term retinal health, we agree that lutein and zeaxanthin are a great choice. We think that astaxanthin can especially work on the front of the eye to protect the ciliary body and the muscles in the front of the eye, working in conjunction with lutein and zeaxanthin to protect the back of the eye. So this benefit of astaxanthin in the eye is in some ways really a muscle function. And we know that astaxanthin has great benefits for muscle endurance. There have been multiple experimental studies that will show that astaxanthin can increase muscle endurance and performance. This was kind of a cute study that they did in Japan. You can see this on YouTube. And these rats were fed astaxanthin or a placebo. And rats that had received the natural astaxanthin placebo could run up to 73% longer than the placebo animals. So it really does work in muscle endurance. There's also human studies. Here we see some of the previous AstaReal studies. 4 milligrams significantly increased the number of squats that people could perform. 4 milligrams improved time in a 20-kilometer time trial. And 12 milligrams resulted in a 10% increase in muscle strength with patients in sarcopenia. So it's definitely working in the large muscle groups. But it's also working in what I think we could say is the hardest working muscle in your body. If you go to the office and sit at the computer, your legs are not doing much work. Your arms are not doing much work. But this ciliary body in your eye is under constant tension. And as Dr. Chen explained, it really just marathon focusing. Astaxanthin really can support the function of this ciliary body in your eye. This is a summary of studies that used AstaReal astaxanthin to show that there were benefits for accommodation and focusing in the eye. And these were all specifically on subjects that had eye fatigue or computer vision syndrome. I can't show you all of the studies, but I want to show you just a sample of the research on astaxanthin for accommodation and eye fatigue. So this was a study showing 6 milligrams of astaxanthin improved the amplitude of accommodation. All of this is a measure of your eye's ability to focus. So we're seeing that astaxanthin significantly increased the ability of the eye to focus in eye fatigue subjects. Again, here's another study showing 6 milligrams or 12 milligrams of astaxanthin per day also improved the eye's ability to function. Another study. So there's quite a lot of studies showing that astaxanthin can improve accommodation and focusing ability in people with eye fatigue. This was another study along the same lines. Here, this is improvement in the accommodation time from far to near focus. The next study shows that there's improvement in the accommodation time from near to far focus. So really just multiple studies showing that astaxanthin improves the eye's ability to focus. And I don't know if you've had that experience. When I look at a computer all day long, and then I go out to drive my car and look far away, it's very difficult to focus far away after a long day of looking at the computer. So it's that type of focusing ability and focusing support that there's very strong evidence for astaxanthin. This is a little bit different, but this is also important for close-up focusing. Here we saw that 6 milligrams of astaxanthin per day improve the pupillary contraction ratio. So this would be your pupil's ability to contract and look at things up close. I think that these next two studies are maybe most exciting to me because these are showing that consumers are actually feeling the benefits of astaxanthin. Here we had 6 milligrams of astaxanthin was able to alleviate the subjective symptoms of eye fatigue. So after taking the 5 milligrams of astaxanthin for a 4-week period, half of the people no longer had these eye fatigue symptoms. They no longer reported the symptoms of eye fatigue. Here is another study, again comparing placebo and the astaxanthin. So the blue, this shows the symptoms before treatment. So before treatment with the placebo, you can see that there were stiff shoulders, you can see that there was eye strain, and then the red shows the symptoms after treatment. So after treatment with the placebo, you do see some reduction in stiff shoulders, but eye strain is about the same. So a placebo-controlled subjective study here. Here is with astaxanthin. So this was 9 milligrams of astaxanthin. Before treatment, you can see there's a lot of stiff shoulders, dry eye symptoms, and especially eye strain. This red is the symptoms after taking the astaxanthin. So you can see taking the astaxanthin reduced stiff shoulders, reduced eye strain, reduced haziness in the vision. So that really shows that people are actually feeling the benefits of astaxanthin when taking it in a supplement. Now I want to tell you just a little bit about natural algae astaxanthin quality and what you should consider when purchasing natural astaxanthin. As Dr. Chen mentioned, this is the source of our astaxanthin. This is the Hematococcus pluvialis microalgae. You can see it's normally a green algae, but when there is stress in the environment, it will shift from green to red by producing astaxanthin. So when we cultivate this algae, the most important thing is to control this change from green to red. And it is very difficult to do that if you are growing the algae in an outdoor system. So AstaReal is really one of the only companies that cultivates this algae in a completely indoor system. And that gives us very good control of that shift from green to red. But it also reduces environmental contaminants. And I did want to talk a little bit about some of the environmental contaminants that have been found in astaxanthin that was grown outside. I want to look real quick at the different products that we have. It's now possible to put the AstaReal astaxanthin into a very wide range of product formats. We have grades that you can use to make soft gels, capsules, tablets, ready-to-drink beverages, powdered drinks, protein bars, and even chocolate. And this water-soluble technology is especially difficult because the astaxanthin is a lipid-soluble molecule. It's basically soluble in oil, but we have some special spray drying techniques and emulsion techniques that allow us to make truly water-soluble astaxanthin. We're also introducing today, for the first time at Bio-Taiwan, a new grade of AstaReal powder. This is AstaReal P4AF. We have doubled the concentration of natural astaxanthin from 2% to 4%. This would allow you to make smaller capsules, smaller tablets that contain natural astaxanthin, but this can also be used in functional food. This is a very easy handling powder, and the stability, which with astaxanthin, because it's an antioxidant, it does oxidize easily, but the stability of this powder is excellent. These are two other product concept samples that we will have at the booth. One is we have made a soy bar or a protein bar with natural astaxanthin. We have those at the booth. And then we also have a powdered drink supplement, both available at booth L426. So that was the end of my quick presentation. I wanted to save a little bit of time for questions because I suspect some people have questions for Dr. Chen or possibly myself. I think we can open it up for questions at this point. Thank you very much for your attention. Much appreciated.